Dear friends, I am your Professor Shivshankar Prasad from Government First Grade College, Kerala. Today in this video lecture, I am going to discuss very Indian poem in Indian English, a poem in selected poems which is a part of Indian English literature, translation studies and representative text for BA Optional English 5th semester students in Rani Chennamma University, Belagavi. This is session number 25. Very Indian poem in Indian English is also called the Patriot, and it is written by Nissim Ezekiel. After learning this poem, you should be able to understand the style of Indian English poetry, its diction, style, and narration. And this video will also help the students to appreciate the beauty and simplicity of Indian English. And this video will also motivate students to write poems using the English they know already. The students will also be able to understand various aspects of Indian English. The students will appreciate the use of Indian English for poetry. The students will critically examine Nissim Ezekiel's concerns on the contemporary India. Before we take up the main poem, let's discuss something about the poet, that is Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel is an Indian Jew of Beni Israel origin. You might be knowing the Jews are the natives of European continent. The Jewish community which came to India settled along the western border of India, Maharashtra, especially Mumbai city and Goa city. Ezekiel was born in 1924 and he was also educated at Mumbai. He studied philosophy at Birkbeck College, London. In 1982, he was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award for his collection Latter-day Psalms. He was a foundational figure in post-colonial India's Indian poetry in English through his modernist innovations and techniques. Nissim Ezekiel is considered a great figure in Indian English poetry because he is one of the foundational personalities or poets who experimented with their techniques and methods in writing Indian English poetry. Ezekiel is also known for his subtle, restrained, and well crafted diction with common and simple themes. Ezekiel writes so simple English poetry that he chooses common and simple themes from the common men. And his words are also taken from the common language of a common man. Friends, it's an interesting part to take a brief introduction to the poem. Once a friend of Nissim Ezekiel told him, "You write in English very well, but you don't know Indian English." He took the statement to his heart and started thinking what would be Indian English. So he started experimenting himself in Indian English. Since that incident, he took note of Indian English phrases in his train journeys from Mithibai College back home. In his life in Mumbai, while he was traveling to and fro in trains, he observed the phrases used by Indians and he collected them. When he had about 1,000 of these, he thought of creating this present ironic and humorous poem. This poem is both ironic because at one angle it ridicules Indian English and it brings many of the humorous elements into this poem. And in the other sense, this also gives authenticity to Indian English. The poem is also known by the other name, the Patriot. If you search for the material regarding this poem, don't search it by the name, a very Indian poem in Indian English, but it is popular across the internet as The Patriot. The poem is narrated in the first person by a literate Indian middle class common man of average learning. Simply observe the words used in this sentence. You will come to know the idea of Nissim Ezekiel's poetry. He chooses common man, a common man of average learning, who is from middle class, but he was moderately literate. And the poems he writes are usually narrated in the first person, which gives the reader a sense of authenticity and belongingness. The readers identify themselves with the speaker of the poem with this technique. The poem is also known for the use of Indian English. This particular poem is famous and given as a classic example for the Indian English. Dear students, you should remember one thing, that the poet's use of typically Indian expressions in the poem are marked in green in the next slides. So, whenever you come across green colored words, you just remember these are the typical Indian expressions chosen by Nissim Ezekiel and experimented in this poem. Now I will start reciting the very Indian poem in Indian English. I am standing for peace and non-violence. Why world is fighting, fighting? Why all people of world are not following Mahatma Gandhi? I am simply not understanding. Ancient Indian wisdom is 100% correct. I should say even 200% correct. But modern generation is neglecting. Too much going for fashion and foreign thing. By this opening stanza, you just observe the words highlighted with green color. I am standing, fighting, fighting, understanding, neglecting. These all indicate the use of present continuous tense or simply continuous tense, which is a common factor of Indian English. Though it is not 100% correct grammatically, the people of India use this particular tense very much. And you may observe here 100% correct and 200% correct. There is nothing which is 200% correct actually. Nothing can be above 100% correct. But it is an exaggeration used by the Indian masses. Let's see the paraphrasing of this stanza. In the first stanza, the narrator declares that he stands for Mahatma Gandhi's ideals of peace and non-violence. The poet supports Gandhian ideals. He cherishes them. He does not understand the model of patriotism by which the world is fighting and has forgotten Gandhian ideals. Gandhian ideals are no more celebrated today. They are the words just in speeches and quotations. Many people have forgotten the model of patriotism given by Gandhiji. The poet doesn't understand why this is forgotten. Nissim Ezekiel next shifts focus on modern youths. The narrator feels sad that modern generation is neglecting all the ancient Indian wisdom and blindly follows Western materialism. Dear friends, you should know that India is known for its wisdom. For thousands of years, India has been the guru of the world. But the modern youths are following the Western model. The first stanza brings Gandhiji's ideals forgotten and the misled youth. The second stanza. Other day I'm reading in newspaper. Every day I'm reading Times of India to improve my English language. How one Gunda fellow throws stone at Indra Behan. Must be a student honest fellow, I am thinking. Friends, Romans, countrymen, I am saying to myself, lend me the ears. Everything is coming. Regeneration, remuneration, contraception. Be patiently, brothers and sisters. Again, observe in this stanza also the poet is using present continuous tense. Gunda fellow is a common phrase used by Indian masses. Be patiently is ungrammatic, but Indians use such a phrase. Let's see the paraphrasing of this stanza. One day, the narrator was reading the Times of India to improve his English as many other Indians commonly do. Times of India is one of the most popular newspaper in India. Many think that reading such newspapers will improve their English. It's a common belief among the Indian masses. He reads that a student at a protest threw a stone at Indira Gandhi, which shows disrespect for an Indian leader. Again, this is event which highlights the misled youth. Friends, Romans, countrymen, I am saying are the lines of Shakespeare taken from Julius Caesar can be considered as a mockery or appreciation of the language. He is mocking at Indians using Shakespeare's lines. On the other side, it may be used just to appreciate the language. Regeneration, remuneration, contraception. These words refers to the 20-point program for regeneration of the nation which was brought by Indira Gandhi who used the forced sterilization of people to control population. This all thing happened during emergency. The poet remembers the events of emergency in constructing these lines. Next stanza. You want one glass lassi? Very good for digestion. With little salt, lovely drink, better than wine. Not that I am ever tasting the wine. I am the total teetotaler, completely total. But I say wine is for the drunkards only. Again, observe the words marked in green. Lovely drink. I'm ever tasting. Total teetotaler, completely total. And drunkards only. These are the peculiar phrases in Indian English. The repetition of the t sound. Total, teetotaler, completely total. This is also an example for alliteration. Let's look at the paraphrasing of this stanza. The poet asks the Indian brothers and sisters to be patient because they are not at all patient, because they are always disturbed. He makes a comparison between lassi and wine. Lassi is an Indian drink that helps in digestion by cooling our digestive system down. Poet may be asking to digest bad news by the use of this metaphor. Wine is meant for drunkards only, and the poet does not consume it. Again, the Western reader confuses when we say wine is only meant for drunkards, because wine is one thing which every European drinks. It's as normal as food or any other drink. Drinking wine is considered as a bad habit in India. So, this very Indian poem brings this very Indian notion also. Many think that lassi, which is very Indian, is considered very healthy. Again, observe the peculiar expressions used by the poet here. What you think of prospects of the world peace? Pakistan behaving like this, China behaving like that. It is making me very sad, I am telling you. Really most harassing me. All men are brothers, no? In India also, Gujaratis, Maharashtrians, Hindiwalas, all brothers, though some are having funny habits. Still you tolerate me, I tolerate you. One day Ramarajya is surely coming. Observe the green marked words, especially the ing words. Like this, like that, these are all the common Indian phrases. Paraphrasing of the stanza. The narrator of the poem is worried about the world peace. He seems to be disturbed by the behaviors of our neighboring countries like China and Pakistan. These are the two countries which always trouble India. Their behavior disturbs the author. He is troubled by their intolerance and hostile nature to us. In the next scene, he switches to brotherhood among the Indians. People across the nation are diverse, yet they are coexisting peacefully. He accepts there are some funny habits by some. Observe here quick shift from international peace to Indian peace. The poet claims that Indians are like brothers. Though the nation is diverse, it is united. It reflects unity in diversity. Though there are many diversities, variations, and differences, they exist, coexist peacefully. India is a vast nation, so the language, the food, The culture of one region may not be found in another region. One region's habits are funny to others, but they are the part of the regional culture. Some may look at Punjabis and some may look at Tamilians. Bengalis are different from Gujaratis because their culture differs. Yet they coexist peacefully and show their brotherhood. Still, he is happy that tolerance prevails over the hatred. He is confident that Ramraj will be a reality soon. Though there are many differences among the Indian masses, there is happiness and tolerance across the nation. Generally, India is regarded as a peaceful nation in the world. So, if there are some differences, they will also be settled very soon, and Ramarajya will be soon a reality. You are going, but you will visit again, any time, any day. I am not believing in ceremony. Always I am enjoying your company. This is the concluding part of this poem. In this last part, the speaker asks the visitor to visit him any time, any day, which shows the open heartedness of the poet or the narrator. It also shows his hospitality towards his neighbors. This is also a very Indian character. He tells the visitor that he doesn't practice any dogma because he claims that he is free from any prejudices like caste, color, and culture. The neighbors in Indian context are considered usually like brothers and sisters, relatives, which cannot be seen in the Western model. Dear students, you might have observed many unknown persons being called Mama, Kaka, Chacha, Nana, though they are not really literally relatives of us. This shows that we are always open hearted, we are always big hearted. We practice actually no dogma like caste, color, and culture. Finally, dear students, I would like to conclude this video by summarizing the points we discussed in this poem. The narrator, the patriot, peace and non-violence. A patriot because throughout this poem you can see his patriotic feelings, his visions of Ramaraj. He is worried about the conflicts in the world and suggests Mahatma Gandhi's ideals and Indian wisdom. The narrator is a lover of Mahatma Gandhi and ideals. He reads the Times of India to improve his English, reads about a student stoning Indira Gandhi. It is one of the very Indian sentiment, very Indian mentality. Modern people, especially youth, have adopted foreign culture. They drink wine instead of healthy lassi. Here the poet wants to tell through his narrator that wine is only meant for drunkards. If you want to be healthy, drink lassi. Warmongering bordering countries of India like Pakistan and China are threat to India, not only India but also for the world peace. The patriot expresses his love towards India and he hates Pakistan and China, which are always troublesome to India. All Indians are brothers and sisters and they live unity and diversity. This is very Indian sensibility that Indians consider every others as his brother and sister. Though there are many diverse factors dividing us, yet we are united. The narrator open heartedly welcomes his guest 24 into 7. It shows our own culture. We always welcome the guests to our houses, irrespective of their region, color, creed. This poem beautifully depicts the very Indian thinking, words, sentiments, everything in Indian English. So, the name of this poem is actually The Patriot, but as it reflects the Indianness through Indian English, it is rightly called Very Indian Poem in Indian English. Now, let's look at the multiple choice questions as an evaluative questions. Question number 1. Name Ezekiel's collection awarded by Sahitya Academy. A. Very Indian poem in Indian English. B. Time to Change. C. Latter-day Psalms. D. The Patriot. Question number 2. Name two great personalities mentioned in the poem. Mithilabai and Nissim Ezekiel, Mahatma Gandhi and Indira Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. Question number 3. What does wine represent in the poem? The taste of India, the Ramban, the cure and the medicine, Indian culture and wisdom, Western culture and ill health. Fourth question. The expression friends, Romans, countrymen I am saying is taken from Shakespeare's Hamlet, Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare's King Lear. Name two countries mentioned in the poem that poet considers threat to world peace. China and Pakistan, America and Pakistan, China and America, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Answers. Latter-day Psalms won Nissim Ezekiel the Sahitya Akademi Award. Two persons mentioned in the poem are Mahatma Gandhiji and Indira Gandhi. Wine is the representation of Western culture and ill health. Shakespeare's Julius Caesar is the work from which these lines are taken from. China and Pakistan are the two countries mentioned in the poem. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video. Keep watching my videos, subscribe to my channel and like and comment. Thank you.